What's up, guys? Welcome back for another episode of Cards and Coffee. I'm super glad you're here. The Reloaded series is getting super intense. IOC just got open last week, and all of us got some insane bangers, not gonna lie. If you haven't seen that episode, please go back and check it out. It was pretty crazy. Now today we're opening Ancient Sanctuary, which isn't the craziest set, but there is a lot of really good stuff in it. But the most important thing, this week, we're dropping a ban list. Ricardo and I have been talking back and forth about the best way we think we could actually handle doing a ban list in this series, and I think we came up with something that's not only good, but gonna be pretty fun. Ricardo and I have gotten together, and we have both come to an agreement on one card that we unanimously agree should be banned from our series. Our series is full of amazing cards right now, so there's a lot of cards that could honestly be hit. But in the end, the one card we found time and time again that keeps plaguing our format is the legendary Yata-Garasu. Now, last episode, neither of us got to resolve Yata, and in addition, neither of us got to resolve Chaos Emperor to search Yata. But Ricardo and I both have felt for a while now that this card should be removed from our series. We just wanted to give it one last hurrah just in case we could pull off the Yata lock using these Chaos monsters. Last episode had a lot of back and forth, and honestly it was really intense, so I'm glad that Yata did not see play last episode. So now going forward, Yata-Garasu is officially banned in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series Reloaded. Now, to also mix things up, what we've decided to do is incorporate another way to get a couple more cards hit on our ban list. So what we've decided to do is go back in time, tally up the wins and loses, and see who's ahead in wins. As of right now, I believe I have a 6-game lead on Ricardo. So as of right now, that puts me in the leader position. Now, the relevance of that is at the start of this episode, Ricardo and I are going to nominate cards we believe should be banned. But there are two important twists to this decision making. First being, the person who's in the leader position only gets to nominate one card to be banned. In addition, the other player now gets to nominate 2 cards to be banned. And in all honesty, it doesn't have to be something to balance the game. It could be a personal attack on each other's decks. So I'm definitely going to take my shot at his deck if I can. Now, the second twist is actually pretty important. Not only are we going to put cards up to be banned, but we each get one save. The reason this save is important is because once we reveal what our nominations are to be banned, if our save happens to be one of the cards that's listed on the ban list, well, your card's saved. So for example, if Ricardo wants to maybe ban my hand control cards like Delinquent Duo and Confiscation, and if at the start of the episode I decide to save something like Sasuke Samurai, then once we reveal all our saves and all our bans, well, both of my cards would get banned because my save card didn't save them. In addition, if I tried to ban something of Ricardo's like Spirit Reaper, and that just so happened to be the card that Ricardo put down as his save, well, then Ricardo gets to keep his cards, and I would have just lost 2 cards from my main deck. This is pretty interesting because since I'm in the lead and I only get one pick, I have to be really strategic on what exactly my choices are. The first 2 cards that honestly come to my head is Cyberjar and Painful Choice. But there's a plethora of other cards that he has access to that I don't yet, and they're all pretty scary. The fact that I only get to call one makes it to where if Ricardo guesses correctly, then my ban can go to waste. I'm going to predict Ricardo's going to be shooting for my Imperial Order or maybe Mirage of Nightmare. But in all honesty, I think I'm going to have to save Imperial Order. This card is just way too powerful right now, and honestly, every time I've flipped it, I've been able to win a lot of games off of it. Ricardo definitely has answers. He has multiple Mystical Space Typhoons now. He has the Raigeki breaks. He has Breaker and Jinzo, and technically Chaos Emperor outs it as well. So while I might lose my Mirage of Nightmare or any of these other cards, I just feel like this one card is way too powerful to pass up right now. Now, as far as cards that I'm going to gun for Ricardo, I think I already mentioned them earlier. It's between Painful Choice and Cyberjar for me. In all honesty, Painful Choice deserves to be banned, but I don't even think we've seen it at full power yet, so it's definitely tempting to take it out now while I have the chance. But honestly, Cyberjar has won Ricardo a lot of games. I'd probably say 80% of the games he's resolved that effect, he's turned around and won. So being able to just know that that's not going to be a threat anymore makes it a lot easier on me to start playing this game. Again, we still got to open our packs, we got to spin our wheels, so a lot of things can change, but my gut instinct is really telling me to go Cyberjar because I feel like he's gonna protect his Painful Choice. Even though he's only played it a couple times, I just know he's really wanting to resolve that card later in the series. So that's gonna be my ban. I'm shooting for Cyberjar. Who knows, that could be his protect. It's really risky, but I'm gonna link up with him and we'll all find out together. This is gonna be intense, guys. I'll see you guys at the ban list meeting room. All right, guys. Peace.
All right, so I'm pretty sure that Justin's already covered this, but as you know, I get to pick 2 cards to ban. And of course, I have to pick a safety as well. Our universal ban was Yatagarasu, so that's out of the way because that card has proven itself to be extremely cancerous, and it's just not something I want to see again. Um, I feel like that card has single-handedly been responsible for the state of the progression series at this moment. So I've had to give a lot of thought to the 2 cards that I want to hit. And looking back at past games and the way things have played out, I think the first card I need to hit more than anything is Delinquent Duo. It's just an insanely unfair card. I'm fine with Justin having draw power in the form of things like Graceful Charity or Pot of Greed, the Thunder Giants. Those don't affect me that much. Like, don't get me wrong, huge consistency buffs for Justin, but Delinquent Duo is a card that makes it so that the game is harder for me to play. You know, you've seen it in past episodes, just how difficult it is for me to come back from not having a hand, or worse yet, from just an opening with Delinquent Duo on turn 1 and me starting off my turn with 4 or 3 cards. So Delinquent Duo is the first card I'm hitting. The second card I'm hitting is actually very tough to think about because on one hand, Imperial Order has proven itself to be a real pain in my ass. On the other hand, Justin has a lot of powerful cards, and I consider Raigeki just because it's such a powerful card, and it's not going to be until I would say the Synchro era that there's really a good way to deal with it. I also considered things like Tribe Infecting Virus and Chaos Emperor Dragon, just because Chaos Emperor Dragon is a very scary card. Tribe Infecting is also scary, but you know, again, I keep looking back to Imperial Order. It's a card that doesn't let me play the game, but at the same time, it doesn't let Justin use spell cards either, meaning he has to lock himself out of things like Pot of Greed, Snatch, Steal, etc. But I think it has to be Imperial Order. So card number 1, Delinquent Duo. That card has proven itself to be a pain in my ass. Even with Yatagarasu out of the way, it's still a card that I need to take care of and address. Second, Imperial Order. So those are my 2 picks. As for the card that I'm saving, there's not a whole lot that I'm really afraid of being banned, especially at this point in the game. I guess I just have to play smart and think about what are the strongest cards in my deck. I mean, I know Jinzo's not going to be hit because Justin's not going to want to ban his own Jinzo. There's no way Justin bans BLS. Chaos Emperor Dragon might be a card I have to protect here. In fact, I think the only card that I can really see Justin seeing as a threat that I should use my save on would be Cyberjar. So to recap, Yatagarasu, universally agreed upon ban, mutually agreed upon ban because of just how cancerous it's been. My first pick is Delinquent Duo, and my second pick is Imperial Order. My save is going to have to be Cyberjar. So looking forward to seeing what Justin picked as his save, because if I can eliminate both Delinquent Duo and Imperial Order, I think I'll be in a pretty good state going into these next couple episodes, because those are 2 major cards that I've been having issues dealing with. I guess the question is Cyberjar going to be the right pick in terms of safety, or is Justin going to hit me in a complete blind spot and hit something crazy? Would he be willing to sacrifice BLS just for the sake of saving himself? Would he hit Chaos Emperor Dragon? Raigeki, Last Will? There's a lot of options, but I think I have to protect Cyberjar. So the next time I'll be talking to Justin, we'll be seeing what his picks are, and it's going to be interesting.
Hey, Ricardo. Good morning, man. Normally we meet up in the evenings, but it's a little different. How you doing, man?
A little early today. Pretty good. Time to think about everything, and I feel good about what's about to happen.
Yeah?
I feel like some problems are about to be solved.
It's funny, man, because I've been really thinking about what the heck I should hit and what the heck I should save. Honestly, maybe I'm just getting in my own head, but I've been really trying to think of what are the power cards in my deck that you're going to want to get rid of. But maybe you might take a different route and go for some of the more niche cards in my deck, because then you can essentially get 2 cards out of my deck if you don't pick one of the cards I protect. So again, maybe I'm overthinking it, but I've just been so curious about what the heck you're gonna pick. I don't know how you're feeling, man, but I'm super excited. This can go either way. And with Yatagarasu already banned, I think it's just going to make for some much better gameplay, honestly. What do you think about Yada?
So, we've talked about this before in private, but just it's so necessary to play around it. It's a card that I have to build around. It's a card that you have to play around. It's a card that once it hits the field, it pretty much decides the duel. It's not very entertaining to watch or play against. It's just it's a card that hits the field and you go, okay, either I'm about to lose or I use my one out on this one specific card. So to have it out of the way, it just, to me, makes the game funner from here on out.
We've pulled off Yada multiple times in this series now, and every time it's felt really degenerate. But we wanted it around one more episode last week because we wanted to demonstrate the Yada lock with Chaos Emperor. It didn't come up for either of us.
Yeah.
Maybe that's for the better. Honestly, last week's episode was super intense. The gameplay was back and forth. It made for a really good game, especially since Yada wasn't part of it. But going forward, even though we didn't get to see that combo, we just feel like we gave it a chance. We've demonstrated it in the past. Now it's time to move on past Yada, and hopefully we can get a little bit more interesting gameplay out of the matches that we have.
Yeah, I mean, I look back at the Dark Crisis episode, and I'm like, yeah, that first duel could have been something good, and then Yada just completely put a halt to it.
Exactly. It was so funny because, like, game one, if you looked at my hand, honestly, it was a really average hand. It was like a bunch of monsters, if I remember correctly. And the fact that you just passed, freeing up Yada to play, was just crazy. It won the game, hands down. Just because you didn't have something in the way of my Yada, I got to just lock you out of playing. And in a point where really I had nothing else going for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm super excited to get into this, honestly. I'm super curious. What are your bans?
Okay, so there's a couple cards I had up for debate. But the first card I knew for sure I was going to hit was Delinquent Duo.
Really?
It's a card that every time this card's seen play, it's just been a pain in my ass. It's legitimately an unfair card. Not in the way of like, oh, I'm tired of losing to it, but in the way of like, you're ripping two cards from your opponent for free, basically.
Right. Just
the
that
life point cost doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. 1,000 life points. It's pretty irrelevant.
Yeah. We've seen it where you activate turn one, and immediately I'm just at a huge disadvantage. So
right. And then that's,
to me, that card need to be hit.
That makes a lot of sense, honestly. Like, typically you're supposed to hold your Delinquent Duo to wait and to see if your opponent has like Sinister Serpent in hand, but the fact that we don't have that card in our format means I get to blindly activate this turn one and really not get punished. So I totally understand why you'd want to hit this. Again, there's a lot of really crazy cards in our decks, so yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised to see you hit this one, honestly. It was definitely one of the ones I talked about, but I'm not going to lie. You caught me a little off guard with this. Wasn't exactly what I thought you would pick, but I'm very interested to see what your second pick is.
Yeah. So card two was a little bit of a debate. The ones that really came to mind were Imperial Order, Regeki, and then like Confiscation. Regeki would have affected both of us.
Right.
But I feel like it's a card that when you draw it, it's free. Yeah, what it came down to was Imperial Order, similarly to Yatagarasu, puts us in a state where we can't play the game properly. I mean, it's a viable strategy. I completely understand why you would run Imperial Order.
Right.
But when it hits the field, it puts the game into a state of, okay, I just hope I don't draw a spell card. And at that point, you essentially, you're top decking for a monster. And at this point, I have Breaker and I have Dust Tornado. And that's pretty much it in terms of hitting back row, unless I want to run Cliff the Trap Remover, So I feel like Imperial Order has to be the second pick. It's just a card that's really centralizing in terms of how the game is played right now.
All right, well, I will let you know now. That was my save choice, was Imperial Order. I was debating about other cards, like Mirage and Nightmare was one that crossed my mind because it's just an amazing draw card that you don't have access to. The hand control cards also came to my mind. And even Magical Scientist crossed my mind because I know how much you hate that card. But in the end, of all those cards, I only get to save one. So no matter what, I fell back on Imperial Order because my gut told me I had to protect it because of all the cards, that's the one card that's probably the most impactful every time I've seen it, next to Yatagarasu.
Yeah,
So
I don't think that card has ever hit the field and not immediately changed the game.
right. And so for right now, that's what my save is this week. So for my ban, I was debating it a lot. And honestly, there's probably like 3 or 4 cards I had, debated over. So the big 2 in my eyes were Painful Choice and Cyberjar. And I don't know which one you were going to protect, honestly. Like, I could definitely see you protecting Cyberjar because, let's be real, 80% of the games you've resolved the effect, you've won your game. So that's, like, definitely one of those cards, just like me with Imperial Order, that it's almost too risky not to protect it. But I also know Painful Choice is an amazing card, and you demonstrated it last episode, just being able to deck thin by 10 cards and get your deck going. And also, I know you're going to want that card in the future with all your synchro plays, and, I know you're really excited about that. So I was really, really tempted to hit Painful Choice, but it hasn't really come full circle yet. So in the end, I had to go with Cyberjar as my ban pick. I'm curious, what was your save?
My save was Cyberjar.
Oh, man. Dang.
And, it's when I look back at the games, like you said, 90% of the time when I resolve Cyberjar, it's a huge plus to me and almost guarantees me the win. And, I mean, you can see in the last episode, when I got Cyberjar, it pretty much cemented things for me. It was a card that I felt like you were going to hit because I know we've talked about it, how every week you go into going, okay, but Cyberjar's live. Cyberjar is here.
It's
so I
true,
knew it was
man.
on your mind.
Like, there's so many times, man, where it's like, okay, yeah, if that's Magician of Faith, that sucks. Or if that's Sangan, crap, you can search this or whatever. Yeah. But I'm like, if that's Cyberjar, then I lose everything I've established, especially when I get ahead. Yeah. There's so many times, not only it'll win you the game, but it'll, like, get you back in the game after you're, like, down and out. Like, there were so many times where I have you on 1 or 2 cards, and if Cyberjar is the card that's set, we got ourselves a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I mean, there were games where I wasn't even running Cyberjar, and just the thought of it being there was enough to scare you to not attack for a turn.
100%, man. Sometimes it's just too scary of a card to not play around. But all right, man, this is cool. Now now we get to go back to the drawing board. We know what adjustments to make. We got our set to open. We got to spin our wheels. Maybe we get something good from IOC. But yeah, man, I'm super excited to start building, start drafting, and I'll link up with you in our match later.
Yeah, see you in a bit then, basically.
Yeah. All right, Ricardo. I'll see you later.
Hey guys, so bit of a different setting today. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. So anyways, last week was a really great duel. Unfortunately, I did come up short, but it happened in what I can really honestly say was the most fair manner possible. There was no Yada tricks this time. There was no real shenaniganry. There was some delinquent duo stuff, which I've dealt with since then. So I'm really looking forward to what comes next. But before I look at Ancient Sanctuary, I want to go back into Invasion of Chaos one last time. And honestly, with this wheel right now, it doesn't matter what I hit because everything is good. Invasion of Chaos is just such an incredible set, so let's go ahead and see what I get. Honestly, I can't be disappointed either way. But if I got a Demog, that would be amazing. And no, I'm going to be getting a Chaos Sorcerer, but I can't complain because 2 Chaos Sorcerer is still pretty damn great.
All right, guys, here we are back at the winner's wheel again. I'm so excited for this episode. New set, new ban list. Honestly, it's all really exciting. Now, IOC gave us some amazing cards, but there are some cards we missed. So my fingers are crossed that hopefully we hit something good. Ultra rare. That's super awesome. All right, guys, here we are again, the legendary Invasion of Chaos. Super glad we get to run it back over here. We hit ultra rare, so that's pretty big. We already have Black Luster Soldier, and we could double up on it because in the future it goes to 3. But honestly, BLS is going to be at 1 for quite some time, so I don't know if I really want to do that. Strike Ninja here is an amazing card. Just a solid dark. Again, another warrior that I wish I had Rhoda for, but that's honestly a super solid option going forward. Moving on from that, we do have Dark Magician of Chaos. So this one's very tempting to grab. It's a level 8 for Metamorphosis. It's essentially a way better Magician of Faith, which I only have one of anyway. It does get errated around 2013 or 2012, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. But in that window of time, this card is pretty insane, especially since it's going to be banned. So I'm very curious what this card could be used for in that time period, honestly. After that, Mana Core of Darkness. There's a lot of funny loops you can do with that card. Don't think I'm going to grab it though. Dimension Fusion, on the other hand, is an insane card. This card's so tempting to grab, but I don't have Bazoo, so it's not like I can like banish a bunch of cards to abuse this with. And my Chaos pool is very limited. This is really amazing for setting up like OTKs or even recycling DMOC if either of us had it. Honestly, it's kind of risky because I know Ricardo's on Chaos Monsters and I'm on Kaiku, so I might be trying to banish his cards. So if anything, it could help Ricardo. DMOC is such an amazing card, but again, it's going to get errated eventually, so this is a really tough choice. You know what? Hell with it. Maybe I'm going to make the wrong choice this episode like I did a couple episodes ago, but this time around, I'm going to go with Dark Magician of Chaos. It's a little bricky, and again, I don't have the best ways to abuse it, but now that Yada's gone, I think maybe is a good time to try a different win condition this week. Let's see what I can come up with. Hopefully our opening is pretty good as well.
So Ancient Sanctuary is a set. You know, it's not a horrible set, but after Invasion of Chaos, man, the bar was set high. So let's just go ahead and see what we get. I believe Night Assailant might be the best card in this set. So let's go ahead and see what we get. Pack number 1. A Regenerating Mummy, I guess that's going to be my highlight here. The End of Anubis, I don't even remember what that does. I'll figure it out later. Pack number 2, so we've got Level Limit Area B, which is a great disruption. The problem is that Imperial Order is still running around, so will we use it? Maybe, maybe not. All right, pack number 3, Double Costing, great to see him. And there's Night Assailant, so that's immediately good for me.
Alright guys, here we are, 24 packs of Ancient Sanctuary. There's nothing too crazy in this pack, but there's definitely a couple hidden gems throughout it. A lot of them are in the low rarity slot as well, so hopefully we can bag most of them. In all honesty, the one high rarity card that I really want to get is Enemy Controller. I don't think it's very good right now, but it's honestly one of my favorite quick play spells ever. So you better believe when the format calls for that card to be played, I am definitely going to play it. But we got to pull it first, so let's see how well we do this week. 24 packs of Ancient Sanctuary, first pack flip, boom. Okay, not too bad. We start with a Venus. That's awesome. It'd be nice to get a couple of these alongside the playset of Shine Balls. We don't get the Agent Structure deck through our progression, but there is a chance to open it if ever we lost 3 times in a row around that time period, but I'm honestly not planning on it. So while the Agent strategy might not be the best in the progression, being able to have Venuses and Shine Balls actually is pretty relevant for making Xyz, and during Link format, it makes for a very crazy Link climbing card. Solid first pack. Pack 2. Oh. Okay, we get a secret rare DeVille. This card's honestly pretty garbage. You have to tribute a Warrior of Zera to summon it, and there's one right there, Warrior of Zera. So it's pretty useless. I would have much rather had the Anubis secret rare. Again, that card's not that great either, but it's essentially a Necro Valley on legs, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I guess we'll add this to the collection and never touch it. Ooh, okay, this is a pretty funny pack. Level Limit Area B makes for a very funny Floodgate-esque card. Basically what it does is all face-up level 4 and higher monsters go to defense position. So this is actually a legitimate card for a clown control deck that happens around this time. I don't think I ever would go back to the clowns with how crazy my card pool is right now, but it is another option, and there's other times in the future formats where we're going to be playing decks that might only play level 3 and lower monsters, so having this card to stop my opponent might be pretty good.
Alright, another Night Assailant. Alright, so pretty great start. I can't really think of anything else in this set that I really would like or need. It's a pretty average set, honestly. Another double cost, another level limit, so that's all good. So if I ever manage to pull agents out, I guess I have one of the tools there. That's our second Moki Moki, so I don't fucking know what I'm gonna do with that shit. Another Venus. Nothing great though. Monster Gate could be interesting. Vampire Lady, Regenerating Mummy. Okay, like so far nothing amazing, you know. a third Night Assailant. Alright, so, you know, this pack did pay off in a way. Again, not the greatest set of all time, especially after Invasion of Chaos, but you can't be disappointed with these pulls. King of the Swamp. If I could see another King of the Swamp, I'd actually be really happy. King of the Swamp just enables me to play dumb shit later down the line. Like I said, I really want to play Dark Paladin. There's Dark Magic attack, so you know, Dark Magician shouts out.
Oh, right away. Next pack, another Monster Gate. Love it. Hopefully we get one more. King of the Swamp is pretty cool. I don't know if I'll go this route, honestly, because I don't have Polymerization, but Ricardo could definitely abuse this. What it does is it can discard itself to add Poly, or if you already have Poly or whatever fusion spell you need, it can sub out for whatever material you need. So it just makes fusion summoning that much easier. After that, we have Legendary Jujitsu Master. This is a solid common monster. Honestly, being able to spin monsters back to the top of your opponent's deck is pretty cool. Next pack. Hey, okay, second Venus. Super solid. Let's see if we can get some more. All right, second Shine Ball. I think that's 2 Shine Balls and 2 Venuses, so we're getting there.
All right, we're over the halfway point for sure. We got another level limit, so that's great to see. Nothing much, though. All right, another Night Assailant, which we don't need at this point, so please stop showing up. Double Costin, a 5th Night Assailant. Beckoning Light could be interesting, actually. I'm going to call it right now. Another Night Assailant, right? No. But would it be funny? Enemy Controller is pretty nice to see, however. Alright, let's see here. Nothing crazy. Another level limit. Another Enemy Controller. So that's cool.
Hey, there's the third Monster Gate. I also hit a Night Assailant last pack, but I totally skipped over it, honestly. But I got my playset of Monster Gates, I got my Jujitsu Masters, I got 2 Night Assailant, and I believe I got 2 of each Shine Ball and Venus. So far pretty good, but again, no Econ yet. But we got 3 more packs, I believe, so let's see how lucky we get. Ooh, this is a big one. I forgot about this. Zaborg the Thunder Monarch. This is the first line of the Monarch support, if I'm correct. This is actually pretty good. So in case you don't know what he does, he's a single tribute monster, and on tribute summon, you can pop a monster on the field, face up or face down. So this is really good at outing cards like Cyberjar, Magician of Faith, all those cards that Ricardo's been on. Even popping cards like Jinzo, Mystic Tomato, maybe a BLS that's just chilling on the field. This card's pretty good, and it's 2400, so it's a really respectable stat, honestly. Oh, and it's level 5 as well, so that's another Metamorphosis target for us. So we might have to play this in the main deck this week, not gonna lie.
All right. Yeah, like I said, guys, this set is average, you know. Not every set can be Invasion of Chaos. Is that my first Mystic Shine Ball? Give me 2 more. Oh, no, the dream is dead. The dream is dead. All right, so here we go, final pack. No idea what could be in here. So it looks like we got nothing. We got Night Assailants, and that's good enough. Yeah, so we got a playset of Moki Moki. We've got playset of Regenerating Mummies and Double Costin, 2 Vampire Ladies. The biggest highlight to me is the playset of Night Assailants, or I guess 2 playsets of Night Assailants. We got King of the Swamp, which is cool. Playset of Level Limit Area B, so that might see some side deck play. And 2 enemy controllers, which is pretty interesting to see. Everything else, who cares? The Beckoning Lights are maybe useful. Like I said, this set is very average. But it's not bad, so we'll see what happens next. Looking forward to this one, because it's mostly just fixing up the Invasion of Chaos deck, so time to start building. And by building, I mean tweaking, but in the good way, not the bad way. Don't tweak in the bad way.
Ooh, the legendary Moki Moki. How could you not love that card? Honestly, look at his face. It's adorable. Alright, last pack. This opening has been pretty solid. Again, nothing that's too meta-defining out of this, but we did get the Monarch. That's super awesome. We got our Monster Gates. We got our Night Assailants. I really hope this last pack has the enemy controller, and we've been having some pretty good last pack luck recently, so my fingers are crossed. But again, this opening's been pretty solid. Let's see what we get. And I kind of missed it. It looked like nothing. Yeah, nothing. But that's alright. Alright guys, just a really quick overview. We did get 2 Venus and 2 Shine Balls. We also got a playset of Level Limit Area B. Maybe that's something for future formats as well, so I'm glad I have that. Got a playset of Night Assailant. Again, I don't know if I'm going to go that route, but it's nice to have that option. 3 Monster Gate. This card's insane. Hopefully we can find a way to play this card. Got a bunch of Waller Revealing Lights. Again, we'll probably never play that. We got a few Legendary Jujitsu Masters. Again, just good for the side deck. I believe we got 2 or 3 King of the Swamp. Again, I don't see myself using it, especially since we don't have Poly, but it's awesome to have, honestly. I'm super glad. We didn't bag the Econ, but we did get a Zaborg, which was actually a nice surprise, because I honestly forgot this was in the set, so that's super awesome. There's a lot of synergy with this card in our deck. All right, guys, we're going to get to deck building. The ban list is definitely mixing things up, so I'm going to try to see what I can come up with, and we're going to get after it. All right, guys. Peace.
Alright guys, the deck this week is pretty much the same as last week with a couple of new additions. So unfortunately Chaos Emperor Dragon is now limited, so it's at 1 BLS, PB and J over here. Can't have one without the other, except when one is banned forever, but that's not the case for us. So Chaos Emperor Dragon, BLS, you decide which one's the PB and which one's the J, and we'll go from there. 2 Chaos Sorcerers thanks to the wheel. Having 1 was great, but having 2 just feels so much more secure, and it's just an essential card in this format, so having 2 is fantastic. Jinzo, of course, makes his return because it's Jinzo. Come on. My level 4 squad returns like always. 1 Witch, 1 Breaker, 1 Donzalug, 1 Kyoko, and 1 Tsukiyomi. 2 Tsukiyomi is a little much, but 1 is definitely fine. We got Spirit Reaper making his return, as well as Jowgen, because Jowgen has proved his worth in last episode, making sure that BLS, Chaos Emperor, and Chaos Sorcerer all have a bit of a check on them. Knight Assailant's brand new to the deck. I'm only running 2 in the main deck, 3rd in the side, because I don't really have the deck space to justify running all 3. Of course, this card is absolutely insane for me because it means that Cyberjar, Magician of Faith are both recyclable, which, as we know, Justin wanted to hit Cyberjar in the ban list. It's thankfully still here, and now it's more dangerous than ever because of Knight Assailant. Sangan, of course, just searches all these little guys. Cyberjar, one of the biggest thorns in Justin's side, and a card that pretty much single-handedly won me game 1 of the last duel. So there's no way he's not coming back. Cyberjar is fantastic, and as a dark attribute, there's no way I'm not going to be running him right now. 3 Magician of Faith, my primary source of light monsters, as well as Jowgen, but Magician of Faith, look at the spell lineup. As we saw last game, I was able to recycle the hell out of Painful Choice and just mill 10 cards essentially. Decked in like crazy, but of course with cards like Reasoning and Painful Choice, Pot of Greed, Card Destruction, Graceful Charity, this card is insane at 3. Spell lineup is virtually the same, but now we have Graceful Charity due to my unfortunate hat trick pickup, and of course the newest additions to the spell lineup, 2 Reasonings. We got the Double Solemns. Double Solemn may not be as necessary anymore due to Yatagarasu no longer being a threat, but I'm still going to run 2 because Chaos Emperor Dragon and BLS and Chaos Sorcerer are a hell of a lineup to run into, and Justin does have all 3. Regeki Break, same reasons. Of course, priority is a bitch, so I might run into that issue later on the line. But for right now, 2 Regeki Breaks. Trap Dust Shoot because Justin has crazy draw power and this card is guaranteed to hit him. Dust Tornado, I need the out to Imperial Order. As strong as my spell lineup is, if Imperial Order hits the field, I have 2 outs that aren't MST. I got Dust Tornado and Breaker. One of them has to be alive to make sure that I guarantee myself a way out of Imperial Order. Spell lineup, the second MST, not main decking it because of Imperial Order. Trunade, it's in the side deck because of Imperial Order. It's just not a safe card right now. 2 Book of Moons, I prefer Tsukiyomi because it can't be negated through Imperial Order. So Tsukiyomi is the way out for Jinzo. Book of Moon is additionally a way out for Jinzo and of course the Chaos Monsters. But for right now, it's going to be side deck because I can't risk Imperial Order running around. The 1 Mirror Force, I just feel like I need it in the side deck if I'm not playing in the main deck. 2 My Bodies as a Shield. The card pool right now is insane. Regeki, Dark Hole are absolute menaces. Got to take care of those. 2 Skill Drains. Again, I want to take care of Chaos Emperor Dragon, BLS, and Chaos Sorcerer as quickly as I can. And even though Skill Drain may hurt me, I would still have the beat stick status of Chaos Emperor Dragon and BLS to run back on. So it's not my favorite card in the deck, but I think it might be necessary for right now. We got 1 Air Knight that I pulled from the wheel a couple weeks back. It's just a nice way to get over a defensive lineup. And of course it is level 5, meaning that it is a target for Dark Balter. We got 2 King Tiger Wanghoos. I just feel like I need to eliminate Justin's lower level stuff pretty easily, and this is the card to do it. 3rd Knight Assailant, like I said, it recycles Cyberjar and Magician of Faith. Clip the Trap Remover. I hate Imperial Order. Magical Merchant, just in case I want to fuck around. That's really the whole reason it's there. So, once again, our Metamorphosis lineup here. Cherubin, Carbanola, Dark Balter. Joining us are Super Roboyaru and Robo Lady because level 6 targets, meaning Jinzo and Chaos Sorcerer, are now able to be abused through Metamorphosis. And then, of course, Dark Paladin returns as my lone level 8. Honestly, this still could go either way. This pack really didn't introduce enough to do big changes, but giving back my flip effect monsters in the form of Night Assailant is absolutely insane and could very well be the exact tipping point I need, especially now that Yatagarasu's gone. So I'm looking forward to this duel. Let's go ahead and see what happens.
Alright guys, so what you're looking at right now is a deck that I'm actually not going to take this week. This is something that I was working on for a little bit, but in the end, I decided to kind of mix things up. This abomination is what I'm going to take this week. Since we hit DMOC on our wheel, I felt like now is the time to mix things up. This deck kind of resembles a DMOC turbo deck, I guess. We obviously don't have Dimension Fusion, which is the #1 way to abuse DMOC, but we did hit 3 Monster Gates at our opening, and we have 2 Reasonings back from a previous pack opening. So I'm going to run through the deck real quick and kind of explain what the heck I'm thinking. Honestly, this deck is either going to be insane or hot garbage. There's really no in between. So right off the bat, I will go ahead and tell you I'm gonna blind second this week because honestly, most of my spells and most of my monsters are just better going second. I have a lot of board breakers, monster removal, spell and trap removal, and all around just boss monsters that are just trying to punch for game. So what I decided to do was make this Monster Gate Reasoning-esque deck to help me pump out all these big boss monsters and really just swing for game as soon as possible. Before we get into the monsters, I'm going to skip ahead to Monster Gate and Reasoning just so you guys can kind of understand what the heck I'm trying to do with this deck. Monster Gate basically reads I can tribute a monster and then I get to excavate the top cards of my deck until I hit a monster that I can either normal summon or set. Once I do, I get to special summon it. The reason we're playing this is because we're just trying to turbo out boss monsters as soon as possible. Again, if I hit something like BLS or CED or Chaos Orc, I'll just keep milling because they can't be normal summoned, but the hope is that you'll hit something like DMOC or Sacred Crane and generate a +1. There's other monsters too that we're hoping to hit, but we'll talk about that when we go through the monsters. Now, Reasoning basically does the same thing. Your opponent basically has to declare a number 1 through 12. Then I'm going to excavate the top card of my deck until I hit a monster that can be normal summoned, and if it's the level they called, it goes to the grave, and if not, I get to special summon it for free. But he doesn't know I have DMOC right now, so if I'm lucky, being able to hit this off of Reasoning is going to be insane. And honestly, I can't wait to see Ricardo's face if I get to pull it off. For those of you who don't know what DMOC does, essentially whenever it's normal or special, you can add any spell from your grave back to your hand. Whether it's recycling the Reasoning you just used or adding a power spell back to your hand, DMOC's really insane. It also has another effect where when it runs over something by battle, it gets banished instead of sent to the grave. So again, this keeps lights and darks out of the grave for Ricardo. It does have one drawback though. It's when it leaves the field, it gets banished instead of sent to the grave. Normally that's a really good thing because you'd pair it with something like Dimension Fusion, which we obviously don't have. And then you get to special summon it back from the banish zone and then recycle Dimension Fusion, and it's just an endless loop. It's pretty crazy. But this is the best I got, and again, I don't know if it's gonna work, but the theory is kind of there. So again, for the first monster, we have Dark Magician of Chaos. I explained what he does. This is pretty much the heart and soul of the deck if we can get to it. Like I mentioned before, we have the BLS, Chaos Emperor Dragon, and Chaos Orc. If I mill them, they go to the grave, but if I draw them, I'm just gonna fuel the graves with Light and Dark anyway once I start milling. So the hope is these get live pretty quick. After that, I have 1 Magical Marionette and 1 Jinzo. These are just kind of some beaters for the deck. Originally, I wanted to play the new Monarch I got, but his effect only activates on Tribute Summon, so special summoning him off of Reasoning or Monster Gate is kind of useless. Magical Marionette at least has the ability to where if I can activate more spell cards, then it'll get bigger, and then hopefully I can start popping more cards. And in case you didn't realize, Magical Marionette is not once per turn. So essentially, if I can get this on the board and activate 4 spell cards in a turn, then I can pop 2 cards. And it's a dark, so you can't complain. Jinzo is really amazing. Just getting this out on the field for free is pretty crazy, especially since Ricardo's been on a pretty good amount of traps. After that, I'm playing the 1 Azure Priest. This is probably one of my least favorite cards in the deck, but it is a light that when I mill it, it'll still go to the grave. All in all, it's still a good card to draw, and it's good offensively, clearing out scapegoat tokens, but I'm really just trying to fill the deck as much as possible because, again, this is a really watered-down version of this deck, so yeah, filling the deck with what I have is kind of hard. After that, we got Magical Scientist. I've explained him in the last episode of why I'm trying to play this card. I just think this card's really insane to hit off of Monster Gate and Reasoning, but this card is very powerful going second. Also, I don't know if you looked in the extra deck, but I've actually made some adjustments that are pretty relevant when it comes to Metamorphosis. When we get to it, we'll talk about it more, but for the last monster, we have 3 Sacred Crane. This is the card that I'm most likely going to hit off of one of these cards. This is probably one of the better cards to hit off of Monster Gate or Reasoning. Basically, what it does is whenever it's special summoned, you draw a card. Again, it's not once per turn, so essentially you can special this off of Monster Gate or Reasoning, draw a card, tribute it off for another Monster Gate, maybe you hit another one, draw another card, maybe you bring it back again with Monster Reborn, draw another card. The possibilities are limitless, and in all honesty, that's the thing that worries me the most about this deck, is because this deck is probably going to present the most options I've ever had in this series, and it's not like I'm going to be able to sit down and play test with this and really iron out the kinks and the combos in this deck, so I really wouldn't be shocked if I misplay a lot this week. But this deck honestly looks like so much fun, so I'm super excited to play it. After that, we talked about the Monster Gate and the Reasoning, basically the Heart and Soul of the deck. We play the Upstart, the Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, Mirage of Nightmare, and the new Card Destruction for our draw power. After that, probably the worst card in my deck, 3 copies of Different Dimension Capsule. So for those of you who don't know what this does, this is essentially Gold Sarcophagus, except for it places it face down. In all honesty, it's not the worst card, just being able to pull out one of the boss monsters or something, that way I don't accidentally mill it with Monster Gate or something. But if Ricardo MSTs this card, it actually makes it to where I don't get to keep the card that I banished. After that, we are on to Metamorphosis. I think of all the decks I've played, this is the deck that will be able to abuse it the most. In addition, I've tweaked my extra deck to add more lights and more darks for the different levels. And paired with Magical Scientist actually makes for some pretty cool plays. After that, we have the board wipes, Raigeki Dark Hole. Again, we're going blind second, so these cards are amazing for that. Change of Heart and Snatch Steal, also really great at just stealing whatever's in front of me. We got the knockback in the deck just to hit whatever he sets turn 1. Double Mystical Space Typhoon. Again, he's going to probably set back row, so being able to hit him is going to be great. 1 My Body as a shield. I was debating between this and Book of Moon, and Book of Moon turns off like Jinzo, I guess, but I'm not really afraid of Jinzo with this deck. I don't know if you noticed, but I literally play 3 trap cards. After that, we got Monster Reborn and Premature Burial, again, just to bring back Cranes or Demok or maybe one of the boss monsters I have engraved. And the last spell, which I think is pretty hilarious, is the Warrior Returning Alive. I don't know if it'll come up, but basically the theory is I'm going to mill a bunch of cards anyway, so if at any time I mill BLS, if I can draw into this or even mill this and recycle it off of Demok, it's essentially like adding BLS back from my grave to my hand. After that, like I mentioned, we have 3 trap cards, Call the Haunted, just another Monster Reborn or Premature Burial, and of course the classic 2 Old Men That Say No. After that, going to the side, the only monster I side is the 1 Sasuke Samurai, very clutch. Hitting it off Reasoning or Monster Gate would be pretty hilarious, especially if he's setting a bunch of monsters, but again, it's not the best. After that, we got 3 Trap Dust Shoot. If I think he's going to make me go first, then I'll put these in. Wabakus, again, just to guarantee I see 1 more turn if he's trying to kill me. 7 Tools of the Bandit. 1 Ring of Destruction, again, just generic removal. The second My Body, if I find it's coming up, I'd like to have more. Double Remove Trap. This is just in case Ricardo takes the skill drain route this week. After that, 3 Smashing Grounds, just generic removal for going second. If he's on a lot of beaters or something that's a little more aggressive, then these will probably come in. Now, I'll run through the extra deck really quick because, again, it's not too relevant, but they all have, I guess, a little bit of a purpose. The 1 Flame Ghost, just a level 3 that's a dark. I don't play any level 3s, but if I stole something with Change of Heart or whatever, then I guess it might come up. Again, the same thing with Dragoness the Wicked Knight. We've had this since day 1, so we gotta represent. After that, the 1 Dark Fire Dragon. This card's pretty relevant for this deck, I guess. Just being able to meta off Crane makes it to where lights and darks are in play. After that, the Fiend Skull Dragon. I mentioned it last episode why it's pretty good with Magical Scientist. And we can even use meta on Marionette to bring it out, so that's pretty funny. I do play 2 more level 5s. They're both lights. One's 1850, one's 1750, so we'll see if it ever comes up. But in theory, if I really needed a light and I had like Scientist and meta, then I can go Scientist for the Musician King and then like meta out one of these. And the new guy can attack directly now. After that, for the level 6s, I basically have a 1900 beater, a 2k beater, and a 21 beater. Again, no relevance outside of that. They don't run over Jinzo, so it's not that impressive. But 1 card that's pretty relevant is Super Roboyaru. This card basically gains 1000 attack whenever it attacks in damage step, and it's permanent. So after the first battle, it goes to 22, and then 32, and so on and so forth. It also has a second effect where you can tag it out to special summon this one, but it can't do that on the same turn it's special summoned, which is a little unfortunate because if that restriction wasn't a thing, I would have been playing these a long time ago with Magical Scientist. After that, there's the Robo Lady, again, just what it tags into, and we have a couple level 7s, and Dark Paladin, which I'm hoping comes up. It's a pretty strong card, but we'll see if we get lucky enough. That's it for the deck, guys. Again, this deck is going to either be super insane or complete hot garbage. I honestly don't even know how it's going to go. Even if this deck is as insane as I think it is, I'm probably going to misplay left and right with it. So my fingers are crossed that the planets are aligned today, and hopefully I can steal a win from Ricardo. This deck honestly looks really fun. All right, guys, it's time to duel. All right, Ricardo, another episode, but this week, a lot's changed. I want to know, how's your deck building been going?
All right, so I feel like I made some nice adjustments from last week. Luckily for me, I dodged the ban list.
That's true.
But what made things nicer was I could build without having to worry about Yatagarasu. So I'm hoping that goes in my favor. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it just might. I've noticed a lot of the games that I had won recently was because I was able to resolve Yata in some way. So the ban list has taken away a win condition that I've been trying to use for several games now. So I've kind of had to sit back and readjust and kind of think of a new strategy. It was really hard to pick. I'm not going to lie. I was so back and forth this week. And the deck that I chose to bring this episode is either going to be the greatest deck of this series so far, or the worst deck of this series so far. Yeah.
No, when I was looking at my card pool to see like what I could do now that Yata's gone, like man, there was some big missteps. But now that Yata's gone, I can relook at my card pool and be like, oh, I can play this now.
Like I said, this is either going to be really insane for me, or I'm about to get slapped super hard.
All right.
But are you ready for this episode, bud?
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
What has let me down the most? Oh, finally, Rock comes in clutch. All right, I got to take first on this one.
All right.
Opening draw. Standby main.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and do one monster face down. And then I'm going to set 3 back row.
Okay, sounds good.
And I'll pass on that.
All right. 3 back row. Standby, anything?
No, you're good.
This might surprise you. I think I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay, so I will draw. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and flip summon Witch of the Black Forest. And what I think is a first for us, I activate Metamorphosis.
Ooh,
so nice. Witch will go to grave, and in exchange, I will grab Carbonola Warrior. And that'll activate the effect of Witch of the Black Forest, allowing me to search. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Jinzo to hand. And then I'll tribute Carbonola and summon Jinzo to the field. All right, I will go to battle and attack directly for 24.
2400 is good.
And I'll pass on that.
All right, starting the turn.
Yeah.
All right, I think I have to do... I mean, I don't have to do this, but I feel like I'm going to anyway. I'm going to activate Darkhold.
Okay, that's fine.
Just a solid 1-for-1. Now, I'm going to activate the spell card Monster Reborn.
Damn, that is a tough spot, but I will activate Solemn Judgment.
All right. Half the life points gone like that, huh?
Yeah.
I don't think you can kill me next turn, so I think I'll wait one more turn. Let's see what happens.
All right, draw. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my own Monster Reborn.
Okay.
And bring back
Jinzo again.
Jinzo. And then I will set 1 card and go to battle for another 24.
Sounds good.
And I'll pass there.
All right. Starting turn. Oof. Okay, so I'm going to start the turn off by entering the main phase. And I'm going to activate Nobleman to cross out, targeting your set monster.
That is a problem, man.
Is it?
That means not only do you banish my Magician of Faith, but you banish both copies of my deck.
Dang, back on 3 coffees. Okay. Well, I'll have you know, I am actually not playing a copy of Magician of Fate this week. I am going to set a card face down. I'm going to end my turn.
All right. I am going to go ahead and have Jinzo Pope for 24. Main phase 2, I'm going to set 1 monster, and I'll pass there.
All right, starting turn. All right. Getting desperate here, Ricardo, not going to lie. Okay, I'm going to set this card face down, and then I'm going to activate Card Destruction.
Oh, damn, that does hurt me, actually.
Well, I'm not going to lie, it hurts me pretty bad too, because the 3 I'm discarding is my Jinzo, my Chaos Sorcerer, and my Chaos Emperor Dragon. But I get to draw 3. Ooh, okay. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, so I'm going to start off by activating Graceful Charity now.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw 3. And then I'm going to discard 2. Ooh, this is tough. Okay, thinking. Man, I want to keep them all. Can I just keep them all, bro? Will you let me keep them? You know? No?
You give me 1 free turn, and I'll think about it.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Blackluster Soldier.
Oh, damn.
And Metamorphosis. And now I'm going to activate the spell card Reasoning.
Okay, so let me think about this. I'm going to have to call 4.
All right, 4 it is. Okay, mill.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
I don't have the life points to use them, though. So that is a perk for you. But what I do have face down is a Monster Gate.
Oh.
So now I'm going to tribute this off, and I'm going to mill some more.
Magical Marionette. Nani?
Oh, yeah. Okay, next.
You got 2 spell cards, bro?
I do, but the problem is I think I shouldn't have tributed Magical Scientist. I think that was my misplay. I think I got so excited that I misplayed a little bit. Well, that's unfortunate. The misplay kind of sucks. Kind of hurts a lot, actually. Dang, it was so simple, too. Oh, man. Okay. Well, gotta take my medicine, I guess. I think I'm just gonna go enter the battle phase and attack your set monster. See what it is.
Well, I think this wins the game for me because the card is a new one to the game, Night Assailant.
Ooh, that is a good one. Main phase 2, I will set a monster, and I'll pass the turn.
I'm going to go ahead and activate a card that you just used, Reasoning.
I'm going to call level 4.
All right. All right, so that'll summon it. Let's go to battle. Jinzo attacks.
The fact that he's 900 attack is so frustrating.
The one card you wanted banned, and here he is.
If I would have tributed the right type, I'll explain it at the end. All right, bud, you ready for game 2? Hopefully this time I don't brick, and then hopefully I don't misplay my one chance at getting back into the game.
All right, opening turn draw. Standby main. I'm going to normal summon Jowgen the Spiritualist.
All right.
Set 2 cards face down and activate Card Destruction.
Ooh, that's kind of annoying. All right.
So I will draw 2. Ooh, Sacred Cream, Monster Gate, Premature, and okay. I'll have to end the turn there.
All right.
So Light and Dark
turn.
Special. You have to get over Jowgen first. Okay.
All right. Main phase 1. We're gonna start with a Pot of Greed.
Yeah, that's good.
Drawing 2. Okay. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna activate Mystical Space Typhoon and target your middle card.
Oh, damn, that one hurts a little bit. Not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, that's not exactly what I wanted to hit. I was kind of hoping Solemn Judgment was what I hit.
All right, so Jowgen is gone. That's a shame for me.
Oh. All right, let's get rolling. Call a level, my friend.
I'm going to go ahead and say 6.
6. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want the Jinzo. All right, here we go.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
Sacred Crane right off the top.
Damn.
And
so
I
you're gonna
will
draw.
use the Crane's effect, and I will draw 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. I am going to go ahead and activate a pretty unique spell card. I'm going to activate Different Dimension Capsule. Do you know what this does?
Yeah. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Essentially a really crappy version of Gold Sarcophagus. Next, I'm going to enter the battle phase.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm
1600.
going to poke for 16, and I think I'm going to pass.
All right. So this is going to be a funny play. While you did hit Regeki Break, you did not hit Regeki. Now I'm going to activate Monster Reborn and revive your Sacred Crane to my side of the field, allowing me to
get
draw.
an Upstart Goblin. All right. Get something good.
Now I'm going to go ahead and tribute Sacred Crane and summon Jinzo to the field.
All right.
Battle phase, poke for 24, and I will pass on that.
All right. How do I want to do this now? Okay. This is what we're going to do. I got this. I'm going to start the turn off by normal summoning Magical Scientist. I'm going to pay 1,000 life points, special summon an extra deck monster that can't attack directly. In this case, I'm just going to bring out Rabid Horseman. After that, I am going to activate Change of Heart. Taking your Jinzo. Now again, my Rabid Horseman can't attack directly, so I don't have game on the board quite yet. But I'm going to activate Metamorphosis to send my Horseman to the grave. To now special summon Super Roboyaru.
You're playing this fucker too, huh?
Oh, hell yeah. It's like one of my best level 6s, unfortunately. It gets pretty big, bro. The permanent 1k boost. And then after that, I'm going to activate Monster Reborn, bring back Sacred Crane to draw a card, and then this should be enough to attack for game 2 here.
Yeah, that should be game. All right.
Magical Scientist.
I'll be taken first.
All right.
All right. Opening draw. I'm going to start off with an old favorite, Pot of Greed.
Sounds good. No Ash Blossom.
All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and set 1 monster face down. I think that'll end my turn.
All right. I think the correct thing to do is activate this first. I'm going to activate the spell card Reasoning.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and call 6.
Again, you don't want me to hit Jinzo, huh? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Be good to me.
Mm.
Be good to me.
No, that was
Be
it.
good.
Reasoning didn't. Oh no.
You saw that, huh?
Yeah.
There he is.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, baby. D-Mock coming up. This is
you got a D-Mock. Oh my god.
This was the wheel hit this week. It was so hard to pick too because I hit Ultra.
That is one hell of a card, and your spell lineup right now is insane. Fuck.
Yes,
okay.
sir. So technically, oh man, I got a lot of options right here. Let me think for a second. I could even, technically, I mean, you saw it. I milled the Warrior Returning Alive. I could essentially be searching BLS right now. All right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add Monster Reborn to my hand.
Yeah.
Next, I'm going to activate Upstart Goblin to let me draw 1 card. And then I'm going to activate the spell card Metamorphosis. And we're going to tribute off D-Mock and special summon, finally, Dark Paladin.
All right. Banish that D-Mock.
All right, so next what I'm going to do is activate Change of Heart and target your set monster.
Damn, that
Show me a Magician of Faith. Show me a Magician of Faith. Oh, why do you keep drawing this card?
Bonds, baby. Bonds.
Bonds. Dang. All right, well, that actually kind of works out for me. I think I'm actually going to flip summon it and use its effect.
Interesting. Oh, that's fine with me, though.
These all will go to hand.
Kyoko,
Moth.
Magician of Faith, Sangan, Regeki Break, and Chaos Sorcerer.
Okay. Okay.
Did you get all that?
What were the two in your hand?
Raigeki Break and Chaos Sorcerer.
Okay.
And then yours were...
I have MST, Raigeki, Azura Priest, Premature Burial, and Different Dimension Capsule. What do I do? This deck's hard to play. Oh, man. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Snatch Steal and target your Kaiku.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to activate Raigeki and wipe your Sangan in your face.
All right, so Sangan effect.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and grab Witch of the Black Forest.
Next, I will pay 8 to bring back my Dark Paladin. After that, I'm also going to activate Different Dimension Capsule, and I'm going to banish another card face down. And banish this card. Then I will normal summon Sacred Crane and enter the battle phase. And then Kaiku's going to attack for 18.
Yeah.
And Kaiku's effect will banish a Light in the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I am going to activate the spell card Mirage of Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will set a card and end the turn.
All right.
In your standby phase, I will go ahead and draw 2 cards if you'll let me.
Yeah. And I will gain 1,000 life points for Snatch Steal. All right. Standby main. I'm going to normal summon Tsukiyomi. And I will flip Dark Paladin face down.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now I will activate Raigeki.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. All right. All to the graveyard.
Okay. That helps out a bit. So I will go to battle phase.
All right.
And Tsukiyomi will attack directly for 11.
I will take the 11.
All right. Main phase 2. I will set 1 card and end my turn, returning Tsukiyomi to hand.
All right. You got to discard some cards here, right?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will discard Magical Merchant, and I will discard the Spirit Reaper.
Okay, so I know for a fact, well, I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that's the Raigeki break that you have set there. So I just got to be able to play around that, I guess. All right, starting turn. In my draw phase, I will activate Mystical Space Typhoon, targeting Mirage of Nightmare to destroy it. Standby phase, it's my first standby for Different Dimension Capsule. And then I'm going to fire off Pot of Greed. So many spells in the graveyard. I just want to draw some more cards. I'm going to activate Monster Reborn and target my Sacred Crane in the grave.
Yeah.
Okay, Crane effect to draw.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tribute summon for Jinzo.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I really don't have anything else after this. So instead, I'm just going to attack you for 24. And then I'm going to set 2 cards face down and end my turn.
All right. Draw. All right. Then I'll start off with Change of Heart.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Now, I will banish Magical Merchant and Spirit Reaper from my grave to special summon Chaos Emperor Dragon.
Are you going to declare priority on his effect?
No. All right, battle phase.
Yep.
Jinzo for 24.
2400's good.
Chaos for 3k.
Yep, 3k's good.
All right. And now, for the first time in the series, I will activate Chaos Emperor Dragon's effect.
Yeah.
Taking away 1k to destroy everything and burn you for, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
That's
8,
enough.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Good game, Ricardo. Good game. It's funny, too, because I knew I had you so low. That's why next turn, the card that was going to come to my hand Well, it was my Chaos Emperor Dragon. I knew all I would have to do was summon it on priority and just win. That's crazy.
No, my hand was pretty busted right now. So we got Tsukiyomi, we got Witch, we got the Chaos Sorcerer, the big boy himself, BLS. I top decked Reborn.
Yeah, you had game there for sure. So this week was kind of a like a DMOC turbo deck just to draw cards with Crane, get all my going second cards and just kind of clear the board and try to attack for game. I also had ways to like recycle BLS like you saw with the Warrior returning alive and Reasoning. I only have 2 Reasonings, but I have the 3 Monster Gates. I played the Metamorphoses because I have all these level 8s. The deck was a lot of fun to play. I probably misplayed a bunch of times, honestly. Maybe if I put a little more time into this and really practiced with it, then maybe I would have, done a little bit better. It's like a DMOC return deck, but the problem is I don't have any way to bring DMOC back again after I've used it. So it's like a really watered down version of the deck. So I really didn't know if it was going to work or not. But I did know like the potential to just OTK out of nowhere was there. And I had to fill the deck with spell cards, so that's why I'm playing these Dimension Capsules. It's kind of a glass cannon where if I don't kill you, then I don't have much grind. Whereas like a Chaos Control deck that like you're on, it can grind multiple turns. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This deck was pretty much the same as last week. The King Tigers are in the side deck now for stuff like Magical Scientist. Playing the double Reasonings. And then the Robo-Yarus are there for Metamorphosis. But it's pretty much the same deck as last week, just with the Night Assailants thrown in. And the Graceful Charity. Okay. It's kind of where we're at now, where it's just going to be variations of like this deck for a while. Hopefully next week shakes things up a bit. We're in kind of weird lull where the top decks are kind of already determined,
Right. It's going to be some kind of variant of Chaos for sure. Yeah. There's not too much you could really do outside of that. I mean, like, obviously there's things we can do, but it's just like when you have access to cards like Chaos Emperor Dragon and BLS, it's hard to not want to build your deck around it.
No, I'm rolling in next week with Berserk Gorilla Turbo.
Watch the Skill Drain beat. All right, bud. This episode was a lot of fun. Fortunately, didn't get the win, but I'm just happy I got to summon the DMOC, honestly. That was just the one thing I wanted to do this week. But I'm going to go back to the drawing board. We'll see if I can make this deck a little better. And if not, then I might have to bring something different next week.
Yeah, I mean, it took a Banyast and Yada to die for me to get the win, but feels good.
That's true. Cyberjar definitely put in some work for you, too, as well. It's
the best
unfortunate, but all right, bud. This was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next week. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.